As you can hear, got the fire siren going on. Kind of whoops by my thing. Um, so we're gonna get started here shortly with some things that are going on. Man, it's noisy out here today. Holy crap! This is why I want to move. Can't stand all this noise. Cheers. See if anybody can join up here. I'm gonna give it a couple little bit yet. I'm gonna give it about a minute, and then I'm gonna start with what's been happening, um, some developments, other stuff. So I'm gonna get here shortly. Just giving people time to join in and see what's going on. And I did remember my glasses today, which is amazing. No, I lie. I was getting ready to do the live and remember I forgot my glasses, so I had to go back in and get my glasses. So, no, I didn't remember them. I remembered them, but I didn't remember them. Not quite sure if that makes sense, but yeah. So, but anyway, I'm going to get started here with story time, if you want to call it that. So, Friday we were at the farm. There's a quick like 2-3 minute live I did, which at that point I don't know why I even bothered, but I was trying something new with the format with the live. So that's kind of what that was. It was like a test thing. Jay over at Steinmetz has been kind of helping me out with that, and appreciate his help, showing me some things. So that's kind of what that was about, just kind of showing me how I could change how the format of the lives are and things like that. So he knows more than I do, so he's giving me a hand, and I appreciate that. So that's what Friday's live was mostly about, but also let you know, hey, that's another aspect of things that I do. I mean, yeah, it's mostly automotive stuff that I do, but I'm able to do that. So let's see, let me think here. Any new developments? Like I said, the drum brake conversion is just about finished. In fact, I would say we just have to test it to make sure it works. But basically, it's yes, Dave. I know. I'm trying. I'm trying to get the Camaro going. This thing's fighting me. So we got all the hardware on the drum brakes. We got the brakes adjusted to the drums. The drums are on, and then I had some help. The brakes are bled. God, I don't know why I can't say that, but yeah, the brakes are bled. We have an extremely good brake pedal right now, which I'm pretty stoked about because it's probably the best it's been since I built this, since we built it back in 2000, I want to say 8, 9, somewhere in there, I believe is that winter, is when we did a lot of work, and the brake deal was one of them. So I'm anxious to get the wheels on this car and actually get it down and drive it and see how the brakes perform, just so if they're better. It looks like they will be, but unfortunately, another gremlin raised its head yesterday. So after we got a brake pedal, I was pretty stoked, and I was gonna fire. I went ahead and fired the car up, and I wanted to put it in gear and do a couple slow stops on the jack stands without the wheels on. Fire it up and go to put it in gear, and nothing. So I had it going where it was going in drive and reverse and all that stuff, and now all of a sudden, because it went to nothing. I mean, I have 6 neutrals now again. So extremely frustrating. Shut the car down. So last night, I unbolted the torque converter. I checked everything on it. It seems like it's in all the way. Again, I have 2 washers between the torque converter mount tab and the flex plate. And that, what has me really confounded is the fact that this car went in gear after like 3 weeks ago. I put it, I put the second shim in, and it went through the gears, sounded great, yada yada yada, and I thought we had put this thing to bed, and it came back. So I'm gonna check if there's something going on with if I didn't have enough fluid in the torque converter, and if that's what I've got going on here, that it's sucking up the fluid into the torque converter, that there's not enough fluid in the transmission yet, that it's only working intermittently. So I'm going to see if I can get a couple more quarts of trans fluid and see if I can find a more efficient way of getting the fluid in there. It's a pain in the ass to get trans fluid in. I mean, anybody who's done it knows any aftermarket dipstick, they have that hole where you're supposed to put the fluid in. And I mean, that thing's barely, what, 3/8, 7/16 of an inch round? And you're trying to get a funnel and dump fluid in and all this other shit. It's a pain in the ass. So I may try again today if I have time to get fluid in there. And if that works, and it seems like it's working, and the brakes work, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put the slicks back on. I may take it off the jack stands and actually drive it. I don't know if today, maybe one day this week. I'm hoping to get, like I said, I really want to get this transmission gremlin put to bed. It's a pain. It's terrible. In all honesty, it's what's keeping me from really enjoying this car, is this transmission issue. When we had the blow-proof bell housing put on last fall, the transmission was taken apart and inspected. All the internals, everything looked good. So I know it's not a transmission internal related issue. It's got to be something on my end. I just am not sure what it is. So, like I said, I checked the shimming of the torque converter. It seems like it's good. The linkage really isn't that big of a deal because you can fish around. It should be doing something, and it's not. But it worked. So that tells me it's not a linkage issue as well. So that leaves, let's see, three things. You need the right gear selector. You need line pressure, which is from the torque converter, which drives the front pump. You need fluid, the right amount of fluid to be able to get that line pressure. So the only thing that's the shimming of the torque converter is a mechanical thing. It's either on or it isn't. Same thing with the linkage. So the only thing that's a variable would be your fluid amount or level as it goes through the transmission. I don't see any leaks anywhere. So a couple of weeks ago, my fabricator told me about, just checking your fluid level. And it's hard to check on this car. So I'm trying to rule out things. And that's the only variable. The only thing that I can think of that would be a variable would be the fluid level changing sorry, I'm going to get myself another cup of Joe here. So cheers, guys. So this thing is just racking my brain. I'm hoping to put it to bed within the next couple days, if not today. But I really like to get it figured out as soon as possible. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So that's where the Camaro stands. I mean, it's right there. I mean, once we get this transmission thing figured out, basically it's going to be, get it down, I'm going to drive it over to my parents' place. They have a pressure wash everything, detail the car, buff, wax, check tire pressures, get it looking like a car should look like, not the mess it is now. And then by then, hopefully, load it onto the trailer. And then it's just a matter of figuring out where we're going to go racing. If we're going to go to Maple Grove, if we're going to go to Island, over New Jersey. I don't know yet. I like New Media. Unfortunately, I think some people, I don't know how many people know, but there was a really bad situation that happened up at New Media. I think was it last week or 2 weekends ago. Unfortunately, there was someone had got killed up there on the starting line. It's unfortunate. Thoughts and prayers out to the family. I can't even imagine this loss of life, especially a young life. I mean, I understand he was only 16 years old. It's a shame. So, again, my thoughts and prayers to the family. But unfortunately, when things like that happen, we also know that lawyers and everybody else, insurance companies and OSHA, a whole bunch of regulatory people get involved. So the fear is, depending how this all goes down, the fear is, are they going to close the track? Are they just, are they going to just, I guess the fear is the repercussions of this unfortunate thing. So that's kind of where that stands. I like New Media as far as it's a beautiful track, it's a nice area. The only thing that sucks with New Media, because the higher elevation, you can figure you'll lose about 0.2 of a second in your elapsed time. So with that being said, we're going to wait and see if we can get up there this year. I really would like to get up there. It's been a while since I've been up there, so would like to get up there this year. But I want to wait and see what repercussions happen with New Media because of this unfortunate event that has happened up there. But moving forward, I mean, like I said, we have Maple Grove, we have Island Dragway that we could still go to. So that is kind of where I'm at with all of that. But like I said, first things first, the first step is getting this transmission gremlin put to bed or put to sleep or executed, whatever you want to call it. Because frankly, this transmission thing has been bothering me over 10 years. This thing's been acting up. And frankly, I've had the shits of it. I want to figure it out. I want to get it solved. I want to be done with it. So that being said, we also still have work on the truck to do in the front end with the tie rod ends. And I said, I guess in another live, what the disaster was with that. I mean, the truck, I still use the truck. The truck's drivable. It's just why somebody would put the wrong parts on something and just is beyond me. But we have the right parts. I actually have the whole right side with the drag link tie rod end assembly put together but not adjusted, and that happens when you put it on the truck. So that will be upcoming hopefully soon to see what get that solved, figured out, get the truck realigned and get it ready to do, to go racing, because obviously I need a reliable tow vehicle to get to the track. It doesn't do any good if the race car is figured out, but the tow vehicle's, marginal. So I want to get the truck to where it's not marginable, that I could just tow whatever. So that's what's been going on. Just running through my mind right now what else is going on. That's basically the two big things. It's just, getting this transmission thing figured the hell out, which is driving me nuts. And then, the truck obviously is having that tie rod end situation done the way it should be. So it's right, not just together, but right. So, unfortunately, a lot of other things going on as well. So my time that I have to do this stuff is sometimes very limited. So that's kind of another factor as well. As anybody knows, with family life and other things going on, you don't have the time you wish you did to get stuff done. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I'm hoping to have some time today. My biggest priority right now is getting this transmission in the Camaro figured out. Getting that dialed in, because that's the only thing that's holding me up right now. And I think it's something as dumb as fluid level. It's just, keep dumping it in. I think what I'm going to have to do is run it with it in gear and just dump fluid in until it starts actually operating. And then once that happens, just add a quart. Then that should be the correct level. So we'll wait and see. Excuse me. Coffee's kicking in. Yeah, that's where we're at with that. I wish I had some better updates, but I don't. I'm also going to have, I guess at some point, I have to get the Corvette back. We have to rejet the carburetor on that. So that's going to be a project that's added to the list as well. Not a terrible project, but a project nonetheless. So that's what's been happening here at Big E's. I mean, so I need about another probably 5 hours in my day to maybe just somewhat stay up with everything, but can't do that. So just trying to get as much done as I can and try and get ready to hit the track. I mean, I really want to get going, but at the same token, I want to make sure everything's right. I want to make sure everything works, because the last thing I want to do is have an issue at the track that go all the way down there and then have some kind of issue come along that takes me out for the day that could have been if I would have just taken some extra time and made sure it was right. So I'm trying to avoid that. So that's going to be it for today. And I will talk with you guys later. If you could subscribe to the channel, Big E's Auto. That helps support what I'm doing. And we'll see you next time. Take care. We'll see you. Bye for now.